You may know that Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You and Shaka Khan's I Feel For You were originally written by Prince, but maybe you didn't know that Prince actually didn't approve these covers. The record labels did. Here's Prince breaking down why this was so important.
I don't mind fans singing the songs. My problem is when the industry covers the music. A lot of times people think I'm doing Sinead O'Connor's song and Shaka Khan's song, when in fact I wrote those songs. And it's okay when my friends ask to do them, but there's this thing called the compulsory license law, which allows artists through the record companies to take your music at will without your permission. And that doesn't exist in any other art form.
Fun fact, critics say that during the 50s and 60s, white artists such as Pat Boone used this law to actually take the songs from black artists, Little Richard, Pat Stamina, without giving proper credit to the original creators. Something to think about as you look at your contracts.
My first check that I ever got, $50,000. First thing I did was buy my mother a car. I gave my mother like 10 or 8 grand or something, and I took the rest. And I just remember all my shit being gone and my mother still having the 8 grand.
Unlike people with traditional jobs, creators like myself, like LL Cool J, most of us do not get steady paychecks. Most of us do not have a built-in 401k, we do not have a built-in health insurance or paying out of pocket. Everything is based on that one check.
If you're not nervous, it means you don't care. Stress is caused by giving.
Let me tell you a secret. I've done 4 TED Talks, dozens, if not hundreds of public speaking appearances. Every single time I feel it right in my stomach. It is in knots, it feels like it's just twisting up. I can barely eat. Every single time. If you're actually excited about something, nervous about something, can barely sleep, and it's something that you really care about, welcome to the club. You actually give up.
Crystal Ball sold upwards of 200,000 copies at $50 a pop. 200,000 copies by industry standards would be a failure, but when you take the lion's share of the profit.
Now, Prince actually isn't exaggerating here. What he learned, and later on Nipsey Hussle and other folks like myself learned, is that you can make way more money as independent than you can with a traditional deal. Now, the traditional book deal, average that an author gets from that is 5% of the cover price. If there's a $20 product, you're getting about $1 per product sold. If you go independent, you're looking at from 25% up to maybe 60 or 70% of the cover price. That's math worth considering.
But there's that moment when you're on stage, when you just feel, and you learn, it takes years to learn it, that this is the moment. And you just get off stage then, and the audience, and they get excited.
Yeah.
And another 5 minutes can bring them to a completely different place.
Yeah.
When I was asked to do my first TED Talk, they said I had up to 18 minutes. I said I wanted 3. They thought I was insane. That talk ended up changing the course of my career, and frankly, the course of my life. It's always better to leave early and have them wanting more than to stay too long.
They've been saying it all my life. Record company say that. Who is this? I said, his name is Coltrane. What kind of saxophone player is he? I said, just shut up and listen to him. Just record it. I had Art Blakey. They said, that drummer's making too much noise. But you have to do what you feel, Then you can make other people feel it.
When I did my first major book, I was rejected more than 40 times by major publishers. My story is not unique, from Stephen King to Jay-Z. And today, luckily, we have so many different ways to connect with other people that don't have to go through the traditional acceptance or gatekeeper systems. In other words, if you know you want to make an impact, you already got a vision, go directly to the people that you want to serve, and don't look back.